Good day to you. This is teacher Leland, Alejandro, and we're going to discuss literal equations. This is a topic in Algebra 2, and we're going to use a paper for this one, for the solution and answers for the problems. Okay, so let's start with the first problem. I'm going to just write it down. We're about to solve for the unknown letter in a given equation. That's why this is called literal equations. So for the topic, let's write it down, literal equations. There, literal equations. Now, the first number, we shall use a given equation A equals B, C, D. And let's say we have solved D in terms of the other variables. Solve D. In terms of the other variables. So this is the given. A is equal to B times C times D. Now the question is, what should be our first operation so that we will be able to solve for D? We have four variables there. The capital A, the small b, the small c, and the small d. So the given is A equals B, C, D. And you're after this variable in terms of the other. So what you need to do is isolate the B and C from the D. And you can do this by way of division. So your first step from the given, that should be B, C, D. We divide both sides by B times C. There. And of course, we have to divide the other side, like that. And so this B cancels out with B, C cancels out with C, and you now have the right side, D. And the left side is A over BC. So the final answer shall be written, okay, such that we have to use symmetric property here. The small d will have to be written here at the left side. And you have this equal to A divided by BC. This must be the required equation there. All right, let's have another one. Let's use another equation. All right, we'll call this the second number. Okay, let's say we have the formula for perimeter of a rectangle. Say P is equals to 2 times length plus 2 times the width. Let's say we have something like this, and we're asked to find W. Okay, find W. Okay, this means in terms of the other letters. In terms of the other letters. Okay, so we start with the given. So let's call this the solution. We start with the given P is equal to 2L plus 2W. Okay, try to investigate your given equation. You can see this 2L term and the 2W term. If you can only move this to the other side by way of subtraction, because in solving literal equations, you have to choose among the possible operations like addition, subtraction, divide, multiply. Those are the possible operations you can use to solve for a letter in a given literal equations. So the way to isolate the 2L is by way of subtraction, since the term is positive. So if you subtract from both sides 2L, the left side will be like this. And you have 2L plus 2W minus 2L. There. And so this cancels out with the other 2L, like that. And you now have P minus 2L equals 2W. Now, we're after W, not 2W. So it's W only. There's still a number 2 there. And so what you need to do is divide by 2 for the next step. And we will have the W at this point. So after obtaining this equation, at this point, we have P minus 2L equals 2W. We shall divide both sides again by the number 2. There. And so this 2 cancels out with this 2, and you now have W, and the required equation is obtained. The required equation is obtained. You now have P minus 2L over 2 is W there. And that's it. That should be the final answer. And so you can write this by using symmetric property. W at the left equals P minus 2L on top, and the number 2 stays at the denominator, and this must be the required equation. Okay, that goes to our number 2 example. Let us use another. Okay, let's say we have number 3 over here. Okay, let's do number 3 over here, and it must be another equation. All right. All right, let's say we have A is equal to 1/2 BH. A is equal to 1/2 BH. It looks familiar. This is a formula for area of triangle. A stands for area equals 1/2 base times height. The small b for base, the small h for height. And let's say we're asked to find h. Solve for h. All right, how are we going to solve for h here? How are we going to solve for h? All right, let's rewrite the problem. A is equal to 1/2 base times height. There. All right, see that 1/2 there? We can isolate the 1/2 by multiplication. So we multiply both sides. So 2 times the A, 2 times 1/2 BH there. And so this 2 cancels out with the 2 there. And right side becomes just B and H. Left side is 2A there. Now one more step, we will obtain H now. And that will be by way of dividing by the letter B, okay? Because we need the H only, we will divide by both sides. So in solving literal equations, you only need to know if you need to divide, you need to subtract, you need to add, or you need to multiply. Okay, you have to try those 4 and come up with the required output. And at this point, B cancels out with B, and you can see H right there. And the left side is 2A over B. So the required answer, okay, that should be by symmetric property, height is equal to twice the area divided by B. There. That should be the answer. All right, let's try another equation. Okay, let me try the next one. Okay, here's for number 4. We have small t is equal to 7 times x plus 20 over 5. And the instruction is find x in terms of the other. Find x. Okay. All right. Should be able to adjust it a little bit. All right. Here's number 4. T is equal to 7 times x plus 20 over 5. Find x. All right. So we need to find x there. Let's rewrite the problem for our solution. Okay. T is equal to 7 times the quantity x plus 20 over 5. Okay. We're going to begin with a 5. Okay. If only we can cancel out the 5, then it will be simpler by one step. So if we put a 5 on top of the fraction, it will cancel out. So that suggests multiply, okay? Remember, you only need to think of the proper operation you have to use by using the basic, either add, subtract, divide, or multiply. For this particular given, we can isolate or remove the 5 by way of multiplication. So we apply multiplication here, 5 times and then 5 times there. And you see this cancels out there. And we have the left side 5t, right side is 7 times the quantity x plus 20 there. Okay, now we're after x here. Remember, we're looking for x. Okay, so we need to remove that 7, okay? by way of division. Okay, so we will divide, and that will be both sides by the 7 there. And so this divides, okay, and you now have 5t over 7 equals now just x plus 20. There, we're almost done. Okay, all right, what we need to do is just get the x now, and we only have that 20 over there. Okay, so we're just going to select what operation will remove the 20. It's a positive 20, okay, and it's addition there, x plus 20. It's not x times 20. So instead of divide, we will be using subtract, okay, subtract by the 20, and we will have the x in terms of the other. So this will now be 5t over 7. We put a little space there, and then we have x plus 20 there. Now we use subtract 20 there, and subtract 20 at the left there. And so this is 0. We now have the x, okay? X is equal to 5t over 7 minus 20 there. And so our final answer, okay? We shall use the symmetric property. X is equal to 5t over 7 minus 20. Yeah. Okay, that should be our final answer for this example. I hope you were able to learn from this, and this will be all for now, and we're going to continue with the next lesson, the next session. This is teacher Leland. I hope you learned from this lesson, literal equations, and do some practice to do your ingenuity. Bye-bye, and thanks for learning.